Hello, everybody. Good morning, and welcome back to Ghostlight RPGs presents Zoa Stardust. Dust. Did that give the effect that I wanted it to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
My name is Justin. I am your game moderator for today. My pronouns are he, him. And I'm excited for this third episode. If you are new to Ghostlight RPGs, we are a community of theater artists and beyond who are keeping the lamp lit by telling stories, playing role-playing games, all with this collaborative idea in mind. So thanks for joining us today. Welcome back to those of you in the chat. Hey everybody, good morning. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and introduce the rest of the team. I'm gonna pass my little energy ball to Annie.
Good morning. My name is Annie, which is she, her, and I also play Kira, who's a cheetah, also pronouns she, her. And my fact about Kira today is going to be the fact that before traveling to Ursa and to start her training, she actually had never been anywhere before. Everywhere that she learned about was from books and things that she learned about in the Grand Archive, but it has been a dream of hers to travel and to get to know different types of people because that's something she's very interested in. She's very interested in people and different types of animals and their cultures and what they do. So she is so beyond excited to be going on this journey, even though it's started a little rocky. All right, I'm going to pass that on to Bradley.
Oh, yay. Hi, everyone. I'm Bradley, he, him. I play Chomper, also he, him, as well as Flip, he, him. My fun fact about Chomper today is his real name is Chadwick Murray Niles. He was named after his father's best friend, who was a Black Panther named Bozeman Chadwick.
Oh my. That's beautiful. Love it.
I will pass the ball to Darrington.
Oh, that's so good. Hi, I'm Darrington, he, him, and I play Tennison, he, him as well. And my fun fact is less about Tennison and more about toucans in general. Depending on the variety and the species, toucans in their lifetime can lay anywhere between 4 and 21 eggs. But the really sweet thing about toucans is that they will build these families, and once a toucan goes and pairs with another, they'll bring that paired person back into their family unit. So Tennyson has a bunch of siblings and in-laws that he sees all the time.
That's cool.
That is cool.
And I will throw it to Rebecca.
Hi, I am Rebecca. She, her. I am playing Milo, Reynard, who is he, him. And a fun fact about Milo is he used to, his favorite show as a kid, it was a radio program, and it was called The Lion's Tale, which followed the adventure stories of Captain Cosmo, who was a fictional space hero who went about just saving the world and being a good guy and stuff like that. And he absolutely ate it up and made a lot of choices based off of that character in his own personal life. And so I'm going to pass it to Emma.
Yay, thank you. My name is Emma, she, her, and I play Skipper Ottington, she, they. My fun fact about Skipper today is that Skipper's best friend from childhood is a fish named Pudge, and she met Pudge one day when she saw that he was being picked on by some bully pelicans in the reef, and so she stepped in and she stood up for Pudge, and from that day on, they were the best of friends, and Pudge came to Ursa with Skipper and is part of the crew, and that is something that is happening, even though he's still on the planet, wherever the planet may be. But that's Pudge, in case you guys were wondering about Pudge. Pudge is a fish.
Pudge is a fish.
Who has a cool suit. Has a cool suit with hands and stuff.
It's true. Not too unlike the suit of the ambassador that you all saved last episode.
We ever get that guy's name?
Not yet. So,
Cool.
also, by the way, those are great facts, everybody. We got a little, like, real animal facts, a little world building. Rebecca, thank you for not making it a TV show, because I was
I know,
about to,
I know.
like,
I saw your eyes. I was like,
freak
it's
out.
not a show. It's not a TV show. I swear.
Yeah. No, I dig radio. I think there can be, dust technology has helped create radio in the last, 50
Yeah.
years. That makes sense to me.
I figured if we had robots, we'd have radios.
Yeah, dust
Yeah,
communication.
yeah. Frequencies obviously work if you have communicating across the cosmos. Great. So, a couple more things before we get started here. First of all, Zoa Stardust is a PG-13 adventure. We do utilize safety tools such as lines and veils and color cards like these that you may see at different times. These are just so that we all remain comfortable and respectful of each other's boundaries and stay safe. That being said, we have a few content warnings. Language, violence, maybe drugs, and possibly adult situations, but nothing graphic. Will stay PG-13. And finally, on this week's Get to Noah Zoa, I am going to address the question: where did Soul and Soul harnessed devices? Where did Soul technology come from? Where did that come about? So about 55 years ago on Zoa, there was a chimpanzee scientist named Charlo Howell. And he discovered essentially that he could harness the energy of the sunlight around him. So using Arcana technology to aid his studies, quickly, honestly, it didn't take very long, his invention became complete. So Howell shared his new patented soul devices with the UR, the United Realms, and within a year, his small-time company called TreeTech Inc. Became the largest and most successful privately owned corporation, even to the point where it started having branched divisions off of it, which is something that Tennison, of course, has a lot to do with. But just 5 years after the creation of Soul technology, the UR decided to use that technology to launch their new space program, Ursa. And so just a few more years after that, and lots of financial success for Dr. Howell, Ursa sent their first ship into space, and the rest is history. That is how Ursa came about, and also, ironically, how Soul technology came about. What a treat. Okay, that's my little giggle when I get excited.
That was adorable. I loved it.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, I think it's time we head back into the world of Zoa Stardust. So, previously on Zoa Stardust, these 5 young Metazoa graduated from Ursa Academy to the rank of Major Officer, and after bidding farewell to their loved ones, they ascended to the cave, which is, of course, the orbiting spaceport. Exploring their new surroundings, most of the team discovered the old solar sparrow, one of the oldest in the fleet, if not the oldest in the fleet, Buckley's Sting, and along with its crew, its current crew, Hector and Dresden. Meanwhile, Kira overheard some perilous discussions among the top brass, and it was then that all hell broke loose. some strange machines appeared out of nowhere, attacking the cave without mercy, and with no real option but to run away. The team took command of Buckley's sting, rescued an Aquazoan ambassador, and took off, only to look back and see that the battle, the cave, and the entire planet of Zoa had disappeared. And that's where we'll begin our session today. We pick up right where we left off. You all are on Buckley's sting. With you are Hector, Dresden, and this ambassador, catfish ambassador that you've saved, who you did leave his suit behind, so he is just in a hydro dome. Essentially, think of it like a little bubble of water. You turn around and nothing.
What in the realms just happened?
Is it gone or did we gone?
I don't know. That's nothing like anything I've ever seen before.
Like, do we recognize? Are we still in the same star system, or do we recognize where we are?
Why don't one of you make a check for me on that? This would
can do
be
that.
reading the stars. Yeah, good thing
Another
for
question.
an explorer to do.
Are there any navigational technology on the ship? Some sort of ping or something?
So yeah, using the ship's navigation system, essentially, you could tell essentially that like where home base is. Judging, it's more of a reading, this is where we came from, this is where we are kind of thing. It's not necessarily like this is the blip on the map where that is. That's not exactly how it works. But I mean, out of all of you, Skipper is definitely the one who has excellent navigational skills. Skipper, what'd you get?
I rolled a 1, a 3, a 5, and a 7, and a 2.
Okay.
I'll take the 7 and the 5 for 12.
Great.
With an effect die of 6 or D8 if I need that.
Cool. Yeah, and for this one, I think this is pretty simple for you to gravitate onto. You easily pass the mark of difficulty here. Looking around you, no, I mean, this is the same star system that you've always been in. This is the stars that surround Zoa. These, just taking a quick glance around you and then checking your sextant, we'll say.
Yeah, she pulls that out and is lining that up to with a nearby star to try and like measure the distance to make sure that we haven't moved at all.
Yeah. And you have not. You are in the same place. You have not moved.
We haven't moved. We're in the exact same spot as we were a second ago.
That doesn't make any sense.
It's just gone. Everyone.
What are you talking about? Excuse me, can somebody turn me around? The ambassador is being held by Chomper under your arm, we'll say. And
Not now, catfish, not now.
well, it's just that I cannot see. Excuse me. I am the ambassador of Tidala, and I demand. I appreciate your help back there in saving me, although you did leave my very important suit behind, I will add. But what are we all talking about? What is happening?
It's gone. The station, the planet, it's all gone. It just poofed.
Well, that's impossible.
I turn
Surely
him
you're
around.
mistaken.
Hey, I'm gonna put you down, little man. There we go.
Sweet seaweed. Where did it go?
Okay, so we're all on the same page now. We have no idea what just happened.
No.
Who are you?
He looks up to you and he says, "I, my good sir," doesn't look up that high, I suppose, if he's on the ground. He looks up to you. "I am Ambassador Pyron Ebley, on special command to of the Aquazoan embassy. On direct. Hang on, I wrote this down and now I'm messing it up.
How do you spell your name?
I spell my name the proper way. Pyran, and last name Ebbly.
Thank you.
I am here under strict orders of Chancellor Shockley to ensure the integration of Aquazoan potentials into the Ursa Training Academy. I was here communicating this with, Sergeant Goodboy, when all of this happened. Now, can somebody explain to me what those machines were?
Were those machines?
I don't even know if that's the word I'd use. It didn't seem like anything was working against them. They were impenetrable. They could change form. That's nothing I've ever seen in tech.
Kira, are you okay?
Look, and she is, for the first time, probably having a asthma attack. Like, it's small, but she's taking her breaths, but she hasn't really been able to speak. And she just kind of... And she holds out the data sphere.
Ooh. Shiny.
You would all recognize this to be a data sphere. You've all done studies and training with them throughout the academy, throughout your time. But it's like calculus. Just because you took the class doesn't mean you really understand it. So, some of you, I think you know who you are, probably understand how to read a data sphere more than others.
Skipper and Milo are probably just looking at it like, ooh.
Yeah.
Strongpaw? Is it Strongpaw?
Commander, yeah, Commander Strongpaw.
Commander Strongpaw, and remind me the...
Captain Longshore.
Captain Longshore.
Yeah, Captain Ripa Longshore, who knew your parents.
Yep.
The kangaroo. And then Commander Strongpaw, the very large grizzly bear, who was the commander of Ursa since its conception.
Okay. Commander Strongpaw. He was speaking. I heard him talking to Captain Longshore, and apparently this has been going on. I don't know for how long, but people haven't been coming back. This isn't new. Something is on this, and we need to find it. I don't know what, and I think we're the only ones who know about this now. I don't know where they went.
You said people haven't been coming back.
Yeah.
Haven't been coming back from where?
I believe it's out in the is it the out?
There are a number of outposts, and you're all aware of this. There are, let me think, 5 outposts spread throughout the charted areas of space. That certain people get stationed to outposts. It's typically the assignment that nobody wants, because you're just stuck out there like for a few months at a time before you get rotated out. And so yeah, you all are aware of the outposts. They are smaller spaceports, essentially.
So we have to go now, quickly, as soon as possible.
Yeah.
We have to find our planet, our families.
Well, now, hang on one second there, Hector says. He is behind you. Dresden is close to Kira, actually, looking at, or whoever has the data sphere at this point, looking kind of inquisitively in, she's looking at it real hard.
Yeah.
And Hector is Hector, however, is kind of slumped back. Just he looks tired, and he says, "Are you suggesting we go to an outpost?"
Yes.
Just we go wherever this data sphere tells us to.
What's
We've been
up
given
there?
this mission. I have no idea. But Sergeant Goodboy? Sergeant?
Mhm.
Okay. Sergeant Goodboy gave this to us, to me, and to you. He needs us to go here. That's all I got. It's not much of a lead, but we gotta look into this. Does anybody know how to open this thing up and read this?
Yeah, let me see if I can.
Sure. Go ahead and Tennison, you would know that in order to read a data sphere, you need a data port, and every ship is equipped with one, so it shouldn't be a problem. You just need to find where the data port is on the ship.
And I ask,
Yeah.
can I get a little guidance from Dresden?
Yeah, for sure. When you take the data sphere, she says, "Yeah, follow me this way. Let's go." And she slithers across the deck, toward we'll say up the stairs in the back. Here's the thing. I thought about kind of giving like a in-depth description of what this ship, the Buckley Sting, looks like, and then I thought it maybe just be more fun for us to each kind of have our own interpretation of it, and little by little start to kind of cement into place features on it. So at the moment, it's kind of a free-for-all. Like, there could be many different features on this ship that we haven't yet to discover. So don't abuse that right, of course. I trust you all to to do it. But so she takes you up the stairs back toward the helm. The helm. Thank you. And just below the helm is a little station, and there you see there is a circular kind of inlay, a little port where you can set the sphere on top of, and you do so, I'm guessing.
Yeah, wow. Didn't think this is something I'd be doing today, but okay.
She says, "Yeah, if you need assistance, please. This is something that I was always very good at, of course, as you know. It's the job of a major officer, so it's your call, really." But,
please don't do that. I was reading about this in a book the other day. We'll need all the help we can get.
Sure. Well, happy to assist then. And together you place the data sphere in this port, and immediately it lights up, and it starts kind of shifting around until it stops. And essentially, the best way to think of this is kind of like a Rubik's Cube. You essentially are going to have to, place digits on it in certain ways and maneuver it in certain ways in order to access it. It's almost like you're trying to get past certain passwords or firewalls at different times and things like that. So, go ahead and make me a roll here, Tennison. And Dresden will give you a D10, which is going to aid you, and it kind of sums up her Arcana Tech knowledge. So
Dresden
add
a
that
snake?
to your roll. Dresden is a copperhead snake, yes. She's,
Cool.
I mean, I want to say small, but a lot of you are probably smaller, so she's about the same medium size as Skipper, I would say, except
Hector is
longer. But
Crab?
Hector is what do we decide? A blue coconut crab.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
quite large,
He
like
a
the
big
size of
boy.
a trash can, like pretty big.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
I have a new real world fear.
Yeah.
There's one behind you.
Hey. Yeah, those were literally terrifying. I'm working with an 18 with a D10 effect.
Holy
Yeah, buddy.
shit. Yeah. Tennison, you hear a small gasp from beside you when you just expertly the arms of your Tukanai and just start maneuvering this thing as you're like focused on it, and Dresden just kind of wow. Damn, you are good.
Yeah, I know. I'm weird. Okay.
I was gonna say very impressive, but
Oh.
okay.
Oh.
And within a few moments, you hear the satisfying hum, and then, like from the sphere, this 3D hollow, very Star Wars-esque magical map, essentially a hollow map, if you will, comes out, and you see there is it's the charted space that you have come to know. You see Zoa, you see a few of the stars that you've come to know and know how to navigate. I mean, Skipper, you look at this and you're like, oh yeah, hell yeah, this is fantastic. You do see the Nebula Sea out at the edge of one of the, like, on the just on the what am I trying to say, the furthest kind of outskirts of the map, and somehow beyond that, beyond the sphere itself, there's just a little dot out beyond the sphere, past the Nebula Sea, and that dot is like, we'll say, just a slightly different shade of color, so that it stands out. This is obviously what this data sphere was keeping knowledge-wise.
Skipper is sliding through the map and going over to different areas and being like, oh, and this is the Nebula Sea. Oh, and over there that's the Scorpion's tail. Oh, and then here.
So that's where we need to go. Okay.
Bink.
Can the ship fly that far?
Of course.
Well, I mean, it was being repaired, right, Hector? Like, is it good? Is it good to fly?
Well, it's a good question, honestly. Getting us that far, yeah, it should get us there. Going through the Nebula Sea, that's the trick. I've never been out that far, obviously. Try to avoid the Nebula Sea. It's, well, we'll just say going through it would be like trying to steer blindfolded.
I can do it.
What?
I can do it.
Well,
I can get us through the Nebula Sea.
alright, kid. I don't mean to put you down at all, but even our old friend Grizz was scared to shit of that Nebula Sea. Maybe just take a moment here and really think about it.
I can get us through it.
A little out of breath, you hear Kira say, have you ever met Skipper Ottington before? She is the most headstrong woman you will ever meet, so I wouldn't push it. It's a done deal. She's going. So
Well,
can you help us?
I guess we have nothing else better to do. Dresden? And she's like, oh yes, no, I'm in. This is great. I will go. Let's do this. And
It's not like you can go anywhere else.
I guess we don't.
You hear a voice say, well, I am not going anywhere near this Nebula Sea. This sounds quite nefarious, for one thing, and another thing.
Listen
I may
here,
be
fish
mistake-
sticks.
What? Excuse me.
You're going because you're on our ship right now. We saved your life. You're coming with us. Okay?
Well,
Other than that, we just lock you in a closet.
no, that won't be necessary.
Chomper.
Okay, then you're coming. This is going to be fun. Skipper, where we going?
And Skipper starts to chart a course to the little dot on the other side of the Nebula Sea.
Yeah, so you reckon,
Oh,
Skipper...
Wait, before we leave, should we check and see if there are any survivors floating around in space?
with our.
If they're floating.
Oh.
Well, I guess we could look.
Because
Yeah,
they might
split
have their
shot.
little. Sorry, I didn't mean to
thing on.
derail it.
Oh yeah.
But
Do our echoes work
there a
with
way?
anybody besides our team that we've been assigned to, or?
That's a good question. Echoes could communicate with, like, we'll just consider them like kind of like walkie-talkies, but you're trained on different frequencies. So if you checked, other frequencies and whatnot for other teams and whatnot, then I guess you could try to communicate with other people.
It's a good idea. It's worth a shot.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, Milo's gonna take his and he's just gonna give out just a general all call onto it, and he's gonna say, Buckley Stainton. Well, anyone out there? Is anyone out there? Please respond.
You get the equivalent of static.
Aw.
Well, okay, that answers that question. I guess we just better start heading off.
Can we see any debris at all? Or is everything just gone?
So
Just like vacuum.
we'll just say you take a little flight. You sail around, just heading back toward where the planet was. Looking around, there are a few very small bits of debris that are just kind of floating, but under a dozen. It's pretty much everything is gone. Yeah, and the debris is building debris. It's metals and wood and things like that.
What has the power to spirit away an entire planet?
But I guess we're gonna try and stop it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What else can we do?
That is what we came out here to find out.
Yeah,
I came out here to graduate, mate. I don't know what you're talking about.
Come on, Chomper. Adventure, excitement, chasing the unknown, saving people. I mean, that doesn't get you just a little bit excited.
Made a little. Come on.
All right.
Hey, Kira, I know that we've all been through a lot already, but before we get started, is there anything else you remember about where we might be going to?
Well, I don't know. It all happened so quick. I overheard them talking about the outposts and that things were disappearing and that they had no idea what was making it happen. So I hate to say it, but I think that's all our biggest lead is this data sphere and this location. Skipper, do you know anything about this far off place that we're going to? Have you ever seen it before?
Have I? DM? GM?
To the Nebulous Sea? Is that what we're talking about?
That little
Little
dot
dot.
on the outskirts.
No clue.
Map.
I mean, Skipper, you're pretty familiar, I should say very familiar with everything that you've had the maps to study, but anything beyond that, I mean, all of you have no idea. I would say maybe Skipper is probably one of, Skipper, you're probably the best one to consider that you've always known that there's stuff beyond what's charted, of course.
Of course.
And it may have even been Skipper's great, admiration to discover a lot of those things. But yeah, nobody knows really what's out there. There have been other, I will say this, within what's charted, there have been a few discussions of some early life on a few other planets within the known system, but nothing that is on the level of actually being able to communicate or even have any kind of benefit for Ursa to, you know, try to what am I trying to say? Interact with them. So they've documented signs of life, but never really interacted with any.
I'm afraid that, well, actually, no, I'm not afraid. If we go past the Nebulous Sea, we'll be sailing into uncharted territory, which is exciting. We'll be the first people to go out there and perhaps be able to map it and tell everyone else what's out there. Clearly, we're not the first people to go out there because people are leaving and not coming back, but it is a bit exciting.
And for the record, Kira, the people who left and didn't return, they were going out to the outposts in charted territory. To your knowledge, because what you remember Commander Strongpaw saying, this blip, this new ping, this just came in like this morning. And so nobody has tried to go out there yet. Nobody. Captain Longshore was his first attempt. He was going to have her and her crew go investigate this because it's something different and new. And therefore he had hope that this might bring answers. But nobody's gone out there.
I relay that to them then. Tell them everything I
Oh,
remember.
well, in that case, let's go right now. Come on.
Flip, hold on, Mike. Flip wants to know if we have enough resources to make it to
That's what I was about
wherever
to
it is that we're going.
A great
It's gonna be
question.
tight. I'll tell you, I've been trying to restock our rations. As far as the solar cells go, we should be okay, as long as we keep picking up light waves on the way. The dust generators, however, didn't get to refill those yet, so we're running low. It's just gonna mean dust cannons, defense shields. Not gonna have a ton of use on those until if we ever find a way to restock. So just be ready for if we get into trouble out there, you know, space sharks and whatnot. Just be ready for I don't
The
know.
hell are space sharks?
You don't know space sharks?
We learned about space sharks.
Well, yeah. They're called
Thanks,
something
Kira.
else. I don't remember, but
Don't
that's
handle the
what
bus.
that's what I call them. There's these massive, big old things that come to destroy ships. They're I call them space sharks.
Okay.
It's probably something due to my childhood, and he kind of drifts off talking about how one time a shark bullied him, and he has hated sharks ever since.
Oh.
Well, that's information that we have now. Okay, so
Should we stop by another port and get some dust from there before we continue on into the Nebulous Sea?
yeah, Skipper, is there a I don't know,
An
pit stop
outpost.
somewhere?
Yeah,
Is there an
intergalactic gas
Outpost,
station.
there's the word.
Intergalactic gas station.
Yeah, is there an outpost somewhere we could stop by?
There's an outpost, Skipper, that is it would be out of the way, and so essentially what you gather is that you'd probably be taking a gamble, because if you go to that outpost and there's no resources there, you're probably not gonna have enough to get you rations wise to get you to this blip past the Nebulous Sea. If you go straight to the Nebulous Sea, you'll know you'll make it, but you're not gonna have extra resources if you wanted to try and go get them.
I can't guarantee that we'll be able to make it all the way across the Nebulous Sea if we go anywhere else first. If there's nothing at there is an outpost close by, but if there are no resources there, then we won't be able to make it all the way to our destination. I say that we skip the outpost and go straight for this dot.
Yeah, if people in the outposts have been going missing, like Good Boy said, then there's probably a good chance that those outposts might have poofed too.
But if we make it all the way to our destination and there's nothing there for us to restock, won't we be stuck?
Either way, we're gonna get stuck. Might as well try and see it through to the end.
That's true.
If things keep
We'll just-
happening this way too.
We'll just
Might.
have to be careful.
Yeah.
Everyone's just going to have to, we're going to have to be very careful when it comes to the resources. And we're going to have to make good choices and not be so impulsive. And he's going to look a little bit over at Skipper. We're going to have to think things through before we do them. But
Aye, Captain.
At this point, I think we have our header. And the more we sit here just burning fuel, the least likely we're going to get anywhere. So we might as well, take off.
Cool.
Where to, Captain?
To the dot.
Let's go.
All right.
Great.
I don't know what it's
I just
called.
wanted to call you Captain. It's so cool.
All right.
This is
We are
weird.
gonna go to a quick break right now. I know it's a little early, but we're gonna go to a quick break, and when we come back, we will jump right into this little bit of an adventure. So we'll be right back in just a few moments, folks. Thanks for sticking with us here. And we're back. Hi, everybody. Thanks for sticking around there through that weird little break. You may notice Darrington is gone. He had to step away for the rest of the session. But
He's
yeah,
okay.
he's okay. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. He had another commitment he had to run off to. So we're just going to continue without him for now. Tennison will be very focused on the data sphere right now, we'll say, and working with Dresden on something. Great. So let's jump back into this here. Yeah, me too. Cool. Let's see where. So you all are set sail. The sails, were already unfurled, I guess. But who's at the helm here? Milo,
I guess
you
Milo.
are at the helm. Skipper will say you're right next to him,
On a very tall box.
with your sextant and whatnot, kind of navigating. Tennison is just on the other side with Dresden, looking at the data sphere, and eventually I think they go below decks and they go to finish the repairs they were doing on some of the before all of this went crazy. Chomper, Kira, what do you two think you're doing while this is happening, while this travel's happening?
I think Kira might pull out her Book of Zoa and just, I don't know, even if it's just comforting and just to get her breath calmed down a little bit more, her heart rate down a little bit, just start looking through and see if there's anything that she can learn about, whether it's the ship or just traveling techniques, anything that could help us along the way. Just
Cool.
trying to revamp her memory. Give her something to do, I think, is what she's trying to do right now.
I love that. I think for the most part, and this is something that we can kind of decide later on too, but because of the nature of the book and the Grand Archive and whatnot, I think the book has more to do with Zoa than it does to do with space.
You're right.
And so I'm not saying you can't get answers through some roundabout way about that, but I don't think you're going to find answers to like space travel in there necessarily.
I like to think she isn't in her right mind right now, so she's like, why can't I find anything? But she's totally looking through the wrong book.
Yeah.
It's just a comfort thing, like a safety blanket. She's like, oh well, that's nice.
Sure.
So she's probably gonna switch through a couple of books though once she realizes, this isn't gonna help me at all.
Cool.
So she'll look through whatever she has.
Cool. Chomper, what are you doing?
Trying to find a good spot for the ambassador to put him so he
Good.
can at least see what's going on.
Sure.
And then helping Hector with anything he needs in terms of repairs or just conversing about being both land and water creatures.
Yeah. So, going below deck, Chomper, you find the bunks or the excuse me, hang on.
Guys, I literally forgot we were streaming for a second.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah, hi everyone. So glad you're tuning in.
That's so funny. I love that. That's just the vibe we give. So Chomper, going down, you see the bunks. You see down a hallway towards the rear. What's the rear of the ship called? the
stern.
The
That's
stern.
right.
Towards the stern of the ship. It's the aft. Wait.
Or the aft. It's either or.
The stern
Aft
or
or stern.
That's the same thing?
Mhm.
Oh, that's so annoying.
According to my research.
That's so annoying. Why do we? Those are two popular words. Why do they have to mean the same thing? Anyway, towards the aft stern, you find there is a room here, and it's kind of like a little bit of a lounge. it looks like. And you see there are 2 large tubs kind of in the ground, like little pools, basically. And they are full of water. And you think that might be a good... The other thing about this lounge is that since it's at the stern, there is a huge glass window pane that is like, it's got the little slots and whatnot. I'll show you a picture later, but it's kind of like this big kind of like almost spherical kind of bubble at the back of the ship, and so you can see like the entirety, like it's almost like one of those wraparound movie screen kind of things where you can see a good chunk of the space behind you. So it's not a horrible view for the ambassador if you wanted to stop carrying him around for a bit. Excuse me. Good gracious.
That's all right. Hey, mate, this is beautiful. You want to chill out here for a moment?
He needs water.
He's thinking.
Yeah, choking on.
That's the one bad thing about streaming in the morning is like sometimes I don't have time to warm up my voice, and so woof.
Same.
I do a lot of talking on this thing. So he says, yes, actually, this looks quite nice. I wouldn't mind getting out of this hydrodome for a bit. Honestly, I'm surprised that a ship this old has these pools here in it. This is something that we were actively fighting for the newer ships. This surprises me.
I mean, the commander of this ship was a big proponent of Aquazoans being a part of Ursa, so it makes sense that an old ship like this would have something like this, wouldn't it?
I suppose so. I don't really know who the commander of this ship is.
Hector, you tell him.
Oh, Hector, you're talking about. Oh, the maintenance man.
Well, yeah, didn't he follow us down here?
No.
Assumed.
No, he did.
Why am I just exploring with this? Oh, good.
He did. He's behind you. And he walks up and he says, "Yeah, I like watching you squirm. Yeah, I guess, honestly, this wasn't even really my call. I just happened to have been granted, a place on the ship, probably because of my Aquazoan nature, although I'm not fully Aquazoan, as you can clearly tell by the fact that I'm not breathing water right now. Boy, it's been a day, excuse me. But, Captain, Grizz, is the one who, demanded that these pools be put in. He wanted a little piece of home. So, yeah. They've been here as long as I have. Yes, well, that is surprising, and I will have to speak to this Grizz at some point. I am not aware of his... You're not aware of Grizz? And they get into a bit of a bickering. Chomper, do you stick around for this, or are you...
So I'm gonna go. I got to check on my mates. You two just well, you're not even listening to me. I'll just go. Thanks, bye.
Yeah, you walk... Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
Somebody get Justin some
Excuse
tea.
I was gonna say we need to start speaking more. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I need it.
This is...
How's it going, Milo? Are we almost there?
So yeah,
We're not. We
you
just
are
started.
you're traveling as Chomper leaves. You are traveling. Yeah, thanks. Quickly, sparrows are built for speed, and although this is an old sparrow, she moves fast. So, Milo, I mean, you've done lots of training. You've done lots of kind of simulation type things. This is the first time you've ever actually been at the helm of a ship. And
It's exciting.
it's there's obviously no wind, so I can't say the wind in your hair, but the feeling of that, the feeling of just being propelled forward, of having all of this in your hands, with your navigator at your side, is like that. This is what probably the two of you were like, would.
This is what we always dreamed of, man.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
It's just the two of you, and Kira. Kira's, I'll say, sitting on the deck, not too far away. But at this point, it's really just Skipper and Milo. It's just the two of you who are within range of conversation here. And yeah, if you want to talk or anything, you have a scene, feel free.
Justin, what is our estimated arrival time for the blinking dot?
Totally. It's gonna take you probably about a week.
Oh.
I would say maybe. Yeah, we'll say a week. It's
sense.
far out there.
It's space.
It's far out there, and you honestly aren't sure because it's give or take. You're not sure how long it's gonna take to get to the nebulous sea because nobody's charted the other side of it. Right? So you're not sure how. All you know about the nebulous sea, Skipper, is that it's essentially like thick. It's the equivalent of like thick fog, but like in an astral form. It's like stardust is so thick there, and the way that the light works, it kind of reflects in weird ways, and it's easy to get lost. The only time somebody has ever even like tried to go in, they basically went in and came right back out and were lucky enough to not get lost in the process, because the second they went in they were like, oh shit, nope, never mind. Turned around.
Don't like that.
Yeah. Now, of course, the sea is massive and there is the opportunity to go around the sea, but nobody's ever cared to because who knows how far that sea stretches on.
Yeah.
So in 43 years, nobody's really cared to look beyond it.
At the rate we're going, we should arrive in about a week.
Okay, that makes sense. It's space.
Are you worried about your moms?
Yeah, well, my mom's about everyone. I mean, even like Vitell was on one of those ships. I mean, everyone's just gone. I mean, I know. I guess I shouldn't be worried about her anymore. It's not like we're together or anything, but I still worry that.
Well, we'll find her.
It just feels really big. And I don't know, I was just like right before like we went up to the station, I was wondering, if maybe I'd made a mistake. It's just everyone just has, their talents, and I just steer the ship, I guess. And I don't know. I'm just scared. I'm trying to be something I'm not, and this is just all going to turn out awful. Well, I don't know. This is scary, isn't it? I mean, aren't you scared?
I'm worried about my family, my little sister, but I'm not worried about you, Milo. I believe in you. We can do this. We've been training our whole lives for this. And you're one of the biggest people I know.
I mean, it's not like there's anyone else, I guess. It's just us, so.
Or maybe Videl and her crew got away and we just missed it. We don't know. Maybe wherever they are, maybe they've gotten away and we'll find them. And they can help us too.
Yeah. I'm glad you're here, though.
Skipper does like a little like side nudge. I wouldn't be anywhere else.
As you continue on your journey, this first day goes by pretty quickly. There's so much that you're all thinking about, looking for. It's all so new still, and there's exciting things about that. There's scary things about that. But regardless, before you know it, your internal clock basically tells you, it would typically be time for the night shift, if you will, maybe going to sleep and that kind of thing. And so we'll just say, for the sake of this, because I don't want to need to flesh out every single day. You all find rest, and you take shifts and whatnot to keep the ship going. The next day goes again pretty smoothly. I mean, at this point, you're a little more aware of the expectations, but it's more so a now that you're here, now that you're stuck here, there's no like, this isn't a dream. This isn't something that you're just gonna be able to walk away from. It's starting to kind of set in by the end of day 2 that you're gonna have to make this work with these people and on this ship with the resources and rations that you have. And it's day 3 where we're gonna say Milo, since you are the captain here, I'm gonna need you to roll a d10 for me.
Okie dokie. Oh, I can click a button. That's a 3.
You got a 3.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay.
You better tell me what that is.
So day 3
killed us all.
Day 3 goes by. A little bit of fatigue is starting to set in. Not necessarily like body fatigue. You're rested. It's more of just like, man, as exciting as it is to be out in space, like at the moment, it's a whole lot of the same thing. And every now and then, every few hours, Skipper, you see something that's kind of like, oh, I think we're near this. That's cool. Yeah, ooh, look over there. Okay. And then just more of like, kind of, as exciting as it is to be in space, you're stuck on a ship kind of in one spot all day long. And so there's a bit of just kind of mental fatigue, I think, that kind of sets in on day 3. And until you start to hear, or not hear, you start to see up ahead of you is some weird lights. Just some sort of almost, think of it almost like an aurora borealis type lighting effect. And instead of kind of like waves across going this way, you see that there's like, it's like little sparks, like a little like and like little blips like this. Milo, you and Skipper are the first to notice this. what do you do?
What is that? Do I recognize it? Like, is it?
Is that the Starry Sea?
It doesn't
Or a storm?
seem to be. Make me a dice roll on this one. To see if you can figure out what this is.
Can I roll cheek?
Yeah, you both can roll. And this is I'm just gonna to kind of throw out some ideas for you. This is gonna be about space travel, about science. Anything to do with science / arcana technology is going to benefit you on this. Yeah, those are the big things that are gonna.
Ooh, I wish Tennison was here.
No.
That's true, and
Sounds
I can
fair.
allow you guys to if like right now it's just the two of you looking. Tennison's below deck, so
Yeah.
if you wanted to call Tennison up, I would allow him to give you a die to aid you or something.
Yeah,
But-
let's call Tennison up.
Okay,
Okay, hang on. I
so
did something wrong.
in calling Tennison, we'll say that you kind of gather the attention of everyone. So you're all come up to the deck, if you weren't already there, and look out at this phenomena that's happening out in front of you. What do we get? He has a D10. We'll say a D10. Add a D10 to your roll because Tennison
Okay.
has his Arcana technology.
I got 12
A 12. Okay.
with an effect of a D10.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, I got a 10 with the D10 effect.
Okay.
I also rolled a 1.
Nice. Good. So, Milo, something about this seems familiar or seems cool even, but you can't quite put your finger on it.
Yeah.
Skipper, however, you remember a story that we'll say Grizz told you once of what he considered were what he called star flares, but again, Grizz typically didn't use the correct terminology for many things. He gave everything a nickname or just whatever it looked like, because this was the early days of Ursa, and he would call something. They'd go back, he'd report it, and then they would come up with a actual term for it there. And so he would tell you though about these star flares. They are essentially nobody really knows where they come from, if they shoot from stars, if they are just light waves that have kind of got corrupted, but they're bad news for you. You don't want to fly through them because if they go through your solar sails, they will absorb a lot of the solar energy from them. So you want to avoid these, and they are getting closer to the ship as you kind of head on course for them.
We've got to go around them. They'll destroy our sails. They'll zap them of all of the solar energy. We have to
Snap.
adjust our course just a bit.
All right.
Yeah, I remember those things. They're not good.
Okay.
Is there any way, Justin,
Mhm.
Skipper's thinking now, is there any way, since they zap energy from sails, is there any way to take energy from the star flares at all?
Good question.
Ew, yes.
This would definitely be a Tennyson question.
I
But
know.
we'll say-
Tennyson, what do you think, Tennyson?
Well, I mean,
So,
do we ask
Tennison-
Hector? Would Hector know?
Hector says,
Dresden?
I have no fucking clue. And Dresden, however, looks to Tennison. They talk for a moment in, we'll just say, super sciencey language that nobody really catches on to. And Dresden turns and looks at you and says, well, I think if we in order to do that, we'd have to have a net. It's like catching a fish or something, but the net would have to be charged in a way that we could capture the light. It'd be tricky. How much time do we have?
I mean,
10 minutes, maybe.
We have about 10
yeah.
minutes. The question is, can Tennison build a net in 10 minutes?
That kind
And
of
he
net.
turns to you and he says, "Well, I would need a net. I can't build a net, but I could maybe change a net."
I have a net.
Fantastic. And he's gonna get to work. I don't want Dresden or Tennison to have to be the ones to roll this, so I'm gonna say, one of you.
Could we charge it with the Dustbuster?
Ooh.
Tennison thinks about that for a moment. Dresden says, yeah, actually, that's one thing that it reminds me of an experiment I did back when I was at the academy anyway. Do you... Yeah, let me see it. And she asks for the Dustbuster from you.
Yay!
So for the sake of giving you guys some sort of a initiative here, I'm gonna say, after about 5 minutes of time, you're really close to these things. They're getting closer. They're much bigger than they looked from far away. They're like these large kind of spheres. They not really spheres, I guess, but they have this like area effect where it's like. So going through it would be like really trying to navigate through a minefield, trying to avoid them. But Dresden says, okay, her and Tennison work for a moment on this net, and she says, okay, 2 things. Number 1, somebody's gonna have to attach this net up to the top of the mast, and I don't know if we're gonna have enough, somebody might have to hold on to it or something up there. We might need 2 people even. The other thing is, okay, we're gonna need, use your Dustbuster, Chomper. I need you to hit it here. And she points at a spot on the net. And she says, thing is, you're gonna have to hit this exact point. If you miss it, it might throw off the circulation of the energy. So Chomper, just to give you guys some rolls here, let's see how this goes. So Chomper, I'm gonna need you to roll to try and aim and hit that exact piece of the net.
Okay.
And then
The roll built. Ooh.
yeah, go ahead.
I have an 11 with a D8 as my effect, but I did roll a 1.
Okay. 11 with a D8 effect. Okay. So as you go to swing, yeah. And is this a two-handed or one? Well, I guess you could do two-handed for
It's
this.
one-handed. You can spin it and then slam it down.
Okay, so you smack down, and the way, so what happens is you hit the net and a charge goes and you get blasted back. Hit the side of the like the the rail of the ship. So you'll take a complication here that we will call crick in the neck.
Yeah.
And as you look, Dresden says, "Oh no, crap! This is my fault. I should have circulated it to the. I put it on the." And she's like really beating herself up.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. What can I do? There has to be something else we can do. What do you need?
We just need another way to charge this, I guess. The Dustbuster's not gonna work like I thought it would.
Okay.
What would charge it?
I I don't know. Anything else that uses dust, I guess.
Does
I have a sword.
Sword.
Milo pulls it out. He's like, I don't know if it's gonna give as much charge as a dustbuster, though.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's worth a try if you wanted to use it. In order to, it would take the charge from your sword. You wouldn't be able to use your sword until you recharge it, essentially. We have the dust generators downstairs. That's we're using that for shields.
We have the crossbowy kind of
dust shot. Yeah, you each have a dust shot.
Our dust shots.
yeah.
We could all try it at the same time.
Yeah, we could all try and shoot it with a dust shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That be enough?
If everyone shoots at the exact same time, yes.
And we all hit the exact same spot. It's gonna be great.
So each of you roll me a dust shot roll here. This will definitely use your protector skill, your protector roll, instead of any of the others.
Okay.
Because this is definitely dust shot training. How well were each of you trained with the dust shot?
I think Milo's pretty good with it.
Mm-hmm.
Weapon. Because athletics, I think, was the only thing he did well in school.
Okay.
Who was that kid?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I got a 13 with an effective D6.
Okay.
12 with a D8 and a 1.
Okay.
I got a 1 too. Did we say we could use a plot point to take away that one, or no, you have to use it to do something else?
You can't use it to take away your 1. You could use it to like add another die to your total or whatnot, but yeah.
Okay.
You can't take away 1s.
That's fine. I'm going to
Okay.
I'm gonna add my 8 and my 3. What is that? 11.
Yeah.
11, and then use
11.
my D8, I guess, as my effect die.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my 7 and my 5 for 12, and I'll use a D10. My D10 for.
And I have a
effect
1,
die.
Justin. So there's a 1.
Okay.
Do
All right. It sounds like as an average, everybody got over 11. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So at the same time, all of you, and just, and you see the net light up this kind of dim purple color, and Dresden says, "Yes, oh, it worked. Okay, quick, we need to get it up there."
Skipper grabs one end of it and rushes up the main mast.
Okay.
It's supposed to be 2.
You need help?
Real quick, I'm just gonna say, Brad and Annie, you both got a 1, so I'm gonna give you both a plot point for that. Oh, Chomper, you should have taken a plot point when I gave you that complication earlier too. Yep. And so you'll both get a plot point, and you both of your dust shots frizz out, and they are out of commission.
Okay.
Tennison can help me.
Tennison's gonna go up and help you with.
He can fly.
Okay.
That makes sense, actually.
Sure.
It's a crow's nest. It's a literal nest.
Tennyson. Yes, I can do that. And he grabs the net, and flies it up as you climb up on your own. So, make me a climbing pool here. Just because last time it didn't go so well for you.
This is true. All right. This time though, I'm really gonna go for it. Skipper doesn't want to have the same thing happen again where she's dangling by her little foots.
Her little foots.
Let's see. Yeah.
And I think Milo's still steering the ship. He's trying to keep it clear of them. But it's hard because they're getting close.
Mm-hmm.
So can we hurry?
I'm gonna use a plot point to give myself another die.
There you go.
Do it.
Use those plot points.
All right. I got a
Nice.
15 with
Okay.
a D10 effect.
Very
Oh,
cool.
nice.
15 D10 effect. Fantastic. You, knowing much more comfortable climbing up this ropes and whatnot this time, to the point where I would say, with the exception of like a rare occasion, I will just say Skipper can easily climb up these ropes without checks from now on. And you, so that's what your asset or your effect die will be, basically. But climbing up this thing, you just skitter up it to the top and hop over into the crow's nest. Colloquially named because the first, one of the first people up here was a crow. And Tennison brings the net up to you, and he says, "How do you want to do this?"
Oh, well, I can use my net gun to shoot it if we need to shoot it in there, but it might be helpful to have you here just to keep everything steady. Does that make sense, Justin? Can I shoot the net? Am I shooting the net into the solar flare?
If you want to. The way that Dresden kind of described it to you is that the solar flare is going to basically like, it's going to be like trying to catch a fish. So
Okay.
if you're going fish, it's going to pull against you. So you're going to have to hold on to that net gun.
Okay. If you can help me hold on to this, help me stay grounded onto this crow's nest, that would be very helpful.
Sure. Great. So I'm going to say, go ahead and start your roll here. Start your die pool to see how this goes for you. Tennison is going to give you a D6 to help you because his vigor is a D6. And he can't help you hold too much. He's pretty small.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna roll. I used another plot point to give myself a. Oh crap! I forgot to clear the first thing, so I accidentally rolled so many dice.
You just rolled.
Yeah.
So
the dice.
Just use
Okay.
the second half if you need to.
Okay, the second half. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll ignore the first 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I got a 4, a 6, a 6, a 4, and a 2, I think. So I'm just gonna take one of the 4s and one of the I'll take a 6 and a 6 for a 12.
Cool.
And then an effect die of a D10.
Okay, so with that in mind, don't delete that because as you go and you aim and it catches onto the solar flare, and you've done it. The net grabs around it, and it's not like a physical thing necessarily. It's the net is kind of staying buoyant, but the 4 corners of the net go and capture each other on the other end. So it's kind of this circular net now, and it's instead of that purple charge, it is a bright white glow that's just like hard to look at even as you realize that you've caught the energy there. But then it pulls, and you are immediately flung off the mast. Tennison tries to hold you with his claws, talons, and he's flapping backward, but it's not you. Neither of you are enough for this. We'll say that's your turn for now. Milo, Chomper, Kira, do you do anything to try and help out here?
Gosh, are they off the ship being pulled into the...
I'll remind you that the ship has its own sphere of gravity, and at the moment they're at the nearing the top of that gravity sphere to the point where they will be pulled out.
Can Milo?
Can
Milo just if he swings the controls wide enough, can he swoop the ship so that maybe they hit one of the sails or something and they don't go flying off?
I see.
He's just trying to give them something to run into so they're not flying out.
Yeah,
in space.
something to even grab onto. Sure. Yeah. Make me a dice pool check here.
Okay.
Emma, don't forget to clear yours. You can clear it
Thank you.
now.
This is a really silly question, but is there any like level of gravity pull? Like, can you turn it up on the ship to make it like stronger? Is that a weird question?
Interesting.
I like that
Mm,
question.
That's good. I hadn't
Yeah.
considered it, but that's a really
Would Kira
smart.
think of that? Like,
You
I
did,
don't know.
so we'll say yes.
if you're going like something where if you're going towards a bigger gravity pull, you have to turn it up so that everybody stays on the ship. I don't know.
That
Does
makes sense because
Yeah.
different planets have different gravities, so it would make
Yeah.
sense that we could adjust our
Could
gravitational
Kira go
field.
find the switch and like try to
Yeah,
turn it up?
so it's in the center, the very center of the ship.
Okay.
So you go downstairs, you're running. You go down through the past the bunks. There's another like trapdoor that leads to like the engine room, if you will. And you drop down into there, looking at all of this arcana technology around you. Make me a check to see if you can turn up the gravity field.
All right.
We needed Tennison so bad.
I mean,
The
he's up
second
there
half
with
of
you.
this episode.
Also, in the chat, there was a plot
Yeah.
point given.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
Thanks, Kate,
Wow, thanks.
for Skipper.
Hey, thank you.
Okay, I'm
I
just
appreciate
I'm
that.
spending a plot point on this.
Okay.
Roll.
All right.
Why? That was awful. I got like 3 2s and a 4.
Yeah.
You didn't get a 1
That's
though,
rough.
so that's.
Yeah, so I guess.
So you
I got a
start
6
to-
with a D10.
Yeah. You start to kind of swerve the ship a bit, and you realize that all you're doing is actually moving the ship farther away, and they get a little closer to the. They're like, Skipper, the net part of all of this is now outside of the gravity field, and you're being pulled, and you're almost outside the gravity field too. If it wasn't for this energy, this like sentient energy that is like pulling you, it would of course just kind of float, and you could easily. But yeah.
Let go!
But we need this energy.
It's not gonna help if you're dead! Let go!
Okay, Kira, what do you do?
I'm gonna use a plot point to add an extra attribute in there if that's
Okay.
all right.
Sure,
Okay.
sure.
All right, here we go. Come on. Oh, dang it. All right, let's add the 7 and the 4 and use the D8 as the
Okay,
effect die, but I did roll a 1.
sure. I will say,
Cute.
okay, Kira, you feel pressure. Immense pressure. Your friends might die right now. There's a chance that they could just float off into space. You might lose everybody else. You have a panic attack. You have a full-on like pressure situation.
Oh.
So go ahead and take a complication, and I'll let you kind of call it whatever you want. Maybe anxiety.
Yeah.
Weight of anxiety or
attack.
something like that. It'll be a D6. I'm gonna give you a plot point for it though.
Thank you.
And remember, guys, your complications on this. Well, I'm not really rolling against you, so I guess that doesn't matter. But remind me if you have complications, because like I don't have all your sheets pulled up here. So
Yeah.
But that being said, Kira,
Mm-hmm.
your 4 and your 7 is an 11, which is just enough to beat this
Yeah.
difficulty challenge.
Yay.
So you reach, you're freaking out, you're not sure, and then just like clicks in the back of your mind, that's the gravity field generator, and you rush over to it, and you just turn up the dial. You're honestly not even sure if it's the right way, but you do it, and instinctively all of you, like, you just turn it all the way up, and all of you kind of just like drop to the ground. And Skipper, you and Tennison are pulled quickly towards the deck. I'm gonna say you each take
Sorry.
Chomper, catch me. That's like
He's
my
flat.
go-to.
We're
My
all
go-to.
flat.
Floor.
Chomper.
I'm gonna try to land on
Biggest one
Chomper.
here. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna try to land on Chomper.
Yeah, I mean, Chomper,
If
you
I
technically
can.
haven't done anything yet. If you want to try and resist this to catch them, I'll allow it. But it's going to be a little high difficulty here
Yeah.
because you're really fighting against the. But you're a strong boy, so I don't know. We'll see.
I'm gonna use.
Strong
I'm gonna
boy.
use a plot plot point.
You're gonna use a plot point.
Yep.
To add another attribute or add another trait.
Yep.
Cool.
Funny thing.
Gone fishing.
That's
It's gonna be the name of this episode.
Yeah, and I was like, instead of like catching fish, is it just actually a sport where the fish try to get away and they have to like catch them in a
Right.
net? It's like
Oh,
tag.
and then complication.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
No ones. No, they're plus buckets.
What? Oh!
Ooh,
Yeah.
baby.
So I got a 7 with a whole crap ton of ones.
No, why does it
You want to
hate
do
you?
a 10 instead? You have a 5 and a 5.
Yeah. Okay. 10.
Now, I will
with a
say,
D8.
yeah, unfortunately, even if you added all your dice together with the 2s included, like you did last time where you add the plot points to add extra dice, I'll tell you, that's still not going to be enough. A 14 won't be enough. So, unfortunately, you're going to take 3 points of... So here's what happens. Because of that crick in your neck, Chomper,
Ooh.
you are straining to try and catch them, and as you do, you just hear a snap
Ooh.
in your somewhere in your body, because basically with those 3, I'm just gonna amplify that crick in your neck from a D6 to a D8 to a D10 to a D12.
Oh
my
And you have
gosh.
broken something in your body as you strain against this, and you just and you instinct you can't help it but to smash to the ground. Skipper, you and I was gonna say Pudge, you and Tennison both take 8 points of damage as you crash back
Oh my
down,
gosh.
smacking into the ground.
She squeaks.
Kira, turn it off!
Kira, yeah. Well, Kira, so really all it does for you is you're like smashed up against it at this point. You have to like try and turn it. But we'll say, I'm not going to make you roll again. So we'll say you do so. Because you're right there and you're like, yeah, and you turn it down a little bit to where it kind of goes back to normal.
Got it.
Chomper, what do you think what bone or whatnot do you think you've broken?
The 3rd vertebrae.
Yeah.
That sounds so serious.
Yeah, it's a spinal issue. So that, because it's a D12, I'm trying to remember how. Technically speaking, complications usually go away at the end of the scene, but because it's a D12, I think we're gonna kind of like make a little house rule here. Whenever a complication gets to a D12, it becomes a lasting complication.
Until we
So-
can try to like restore our
Until you,
health.
yeah, recover from
Recover.
it. So, yeah, basically until you can recover, and this is gonna be a while. That's like typically a complication that gets to a D12, unlike life points where you can just kind of recover them easily. A complication that is that high is gonna be like long-term effects, long-term stress. It's gonna take longer than just like one session to recover from that, essentially. So,
Cool.
Chomper, you have a D12 working against you
Buddy.
Poor Chomper.
a lot of the time.
Having a
Sorry
rough
about those
go of
ones, my buddy.
everything.
Roll just hates Bradley. I think Roll is being
Little bit.
mean.
You also have the biggest dice pool out of everybody. Like, when you put all those dice together, there's just more chance of rolling more ones.
Fair. That's fair.
Oh.
Gonna make
Um,
smaller dice pools. How about that?
Uh,
Screw this
well,
game.
we got the energy. Thank you for helping us out, Kira.
No problem. Sorry, Chomper. You okay, buddy? What can I do?
I need to lie down a bit.
Okay.
Hector says, yeah, damn, that was rough. Chomper, let's get you down into one of those tubs, yeah? Maybe try to relax.
Sounds good, mate.
And he kind of starts to help you he's kind of help with his big crab claws, helping to kind of pull you. It's not pleasant, but as you try to like stand up, it's so fresh. It's so hard to stand. So kind of keeping the position you're in, he just kind of helps get you down.
I'll help him down too if there's any kind of release I can, pressure on his back. I'll try to help on the other side too.
And what do you think Flip is doing here, Brad?
It's fluttering around as worried as possible.
Yeah. So the rest of the day goes by mostly without any further complications. You all are Dresden and Tennison help to channel the energy from the net into your solar cells, and you have refilled all your solar cells. They actually have to take a few extra empty solar cells and recharge those too, just because of how much solar energy was packed into one of these star flares. So capturing one has actually, you have a ton of solar energy right now, which is great.
Nice job.
To the point where Dresden comes up to you, Milo. Captain, we Tennison and I have gone over the calculations a bit. With the amount of solar energy we have right now, we could actually boost a lot of that into the solar sails and get us going at like double speed right now if we wanted to. I'm just, we could reserve a lot of it if we need to. We could try to use it right now, and probably, I'd have to ask Skipper on this one, but it would probably get us, in twice the speed to get to the place.
Yeah, no, that sounds perfect. Let's do that. I think the sooner we get there, the better. Might as well make use of it.
Cool. So Skipper, what you've just heard is Dresden said that the amount of solar energy gathered from that star flare, you have so much reserves now that she suggested to Captain Milo that Captain Reynard that you could push it all, channel it all into the solar sails and get there like in twice the amount of time, or half the amount of time.
I like that idea a lot.
So Captain gives the go ahead, and at the end of day 3, you channel the solar energy into the solar sails. They go from this like golden aura to a much more brighter kind of white, and you feel like the speed at which you're flying and sailing has like tripled. Practically, it's like all of a sudden you feel like you're being blasted through space. It's pretty insane the speed you're going, Milo. It's pretty crazy.
I'm gonna stand in the front of the ship with my arms outstretched like the Titanic.
Good. And before you know it, within a few hours, you see up ahead of you this large expanse from left to right, as far as you can see, this greenish kind of mist, up and down as well vertically, just this kind of wall of green mist, and instinctively this is the Nebulous Sea.
There she blows.
That was super fast. Wow, great idea. That was amazing. You almost got yourself killed, but that was amazing.
It was worth it.
Great.
Yeah. So as you approach the Nebulous Sea, are you slowing down at all, Milo? Or are you just going right in? What's the plan?
I think he's gonna slow down for a second and just kind of like gauge where they're going in, because like this is not just like just soaring through the stars. This is something a lot, because like it's hard to see in there, right? Too.
Yeah, it's a trap. I mean, it's you don't know what awaits you in there. It's uncharted. So.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go. Come on. Why are we moving? Milo.
Hang on a second. I'm thinking.
Oh,
Jesus. I mean, whatever.
Horses. By the great stallion.
We can't just jump into everything. Crazy, okay?
We're so close. It's right there.
I agree. Why don't you sketch it right now? We can make some sketches and get this down on paper, because and then we'll start heading in there and start making notes. So just trying to give Skipper something to do while he's dancing.
That's a good idea.
There
That's
you
a
go.
good idea. I'll go grab my notebook.
Okay, great.
Milo's gonna start getting everything set to head in, but he's gonna go in a little bit slower. He doesn't want to just zoom in like they were before, and so he wants to go in with just a little bit more caution.
Sure.
And he's just like, he's gonna quote his favorite show, and he's gonna say, "Okay, let's go chase the unknown." And he's gonna push it into gear.
So Skipper, you come back up with your notebook. As you slowly start approaching the sea here, Hector is just out at the front of the ship looking up, and there's like this beautiful image of just like this large crab looking up at this wall of green that I have in my head right now, at the head of the ship. Chomper, you are down in the tubs with Ambassador Ebley. Flip is kind of flittering around you. It kind of rests on your shoulder. It's bad, but in the hours since it happened, you feel like, I mean, it's getting manageable. It's going to be a huge problem, but you'll be able to stand again in a few days, you would guess. But you're probably not going to be any help for this nebulous sea. Kira, you are... What are you doing?
I think I'm gonna go down and talk to Chomper, because she feels so bad. She feels really bad.
Sure.
Gonna give a little knock if there's a door. Hey, buddy.
There's... Yeah. You go inside.
Up?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sore as can be, but happy that everyone else is safe. That's the most important thing.
I'm so sorry. I had no idea it was going to be that powerful, and I just freaked out, and I feel like this is my fault.
This is not your fault. How could it be your fault? You were saving our mates.
I know, but I could have hurt you severely. I mean, look at you. You're not normally this fragile. That must have been quite a blow.
On big, it happens to us big mates. It's just not. Kira, it is what it is. Okay. The good thing is that we can travel and make it to our destination and find our friends. The only thing that matters is finding our friends and family. I mean, you of all people should know that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the smart one of the group. Come on. No offense to the big beak and the sea noodle and, well, big ears. You can probably hear what I'm saying anyway, Captain, but you're the smart one. I trust you.
I just
Okay?
I don't know if I'm ready for this kind of pressure. Obviously, yeah, I get nervous, and I don't know. I don't want to hurt anybody, and I just
Think of it like this. You handled the pressure of the gravity well, like a champ. You can handle any pressure that comes your way.
thank you.
Flip, 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 flip. And Flip says he likes your spots. Now, head on up top and let me and the ambassador get back to our game of mahjong.
Yes, I don't mean to be intruding, but is this normal? And he kind of looks towards the back of the, where the big window is, and you see that the dark, midnight blue of space around you starts to kind of slowly close out as the green fog of the nebulous sea closes around you to the point where it's just thick green stardust that you can see, and you know that this means you are going into the nebulous sea. And back on the deck, Milo, Skipper, you're up there with Tennison. Dresden is currently resting, and Hector is just staring out, trying to be any help he can be. And as we get going with this next step of the journey, I think we'll call it a day there.
Ooh.
Kira
Next
and
time.
Chomper both got a plot point from the chat.
Kira and Chomper.
Aw.
Chomper
Thank
because
you.
gravity is a pain in the neck, and Kira because she needs a hug.
Oh, thanks. She does need
Thanks,
a hug
Kate.
right now.
Woo! What
So-
an episode!
That was intense.
Big
Yeah.
stuff. Needed a little more downtime with all of the craziness that's been going on. But
God.
no episode will be without danger, because this is space and everything.
Or me getting
is
hurt,
dangerous.
apparently. So,
Yeah,
Everything
poor
wants to kill you.
Poor
Chomper.
Chomper. It'll
Trying to
heal.
save his friend.
It'll heal eventually. But yeah. So next time we will explore the nebulous sea and possibly see what is that little dot that is so important.
Hopefully won't kill us.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully it won't kill us.
Sucks us in too.
And yeah. Let's see. Did I forget anything else?
Are we rating someone today? Oh,
Are we rating? We are.
yeah.
We had a suggestion for
berating someone?
that.
are we berating
Where
someone
were
today?
they?
We're berating hair.
Youngblood MTG. Yeah, doing a charity
Yeah.
stream today. Works for me.
Awesome.
Woo, yay!
Yay
Um,
for charity.
Thanks, Kate, for the suggestion there.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, stick around for the raid, everybody. Appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. We'll be back. Oh, real quick before we stop, I forgot a couple announcements. We will be back next week, next Sunday, with episode 4, the continuation of Zoa. We will also be. Wow! Thanks for the subs.
Thank
Kate,
you.
Woo-woo.
killing it. Green Room will be on Tuesday night, 2 nights from now. I will be hosting with guests Annie and Ben from The Contraband. So Annie and Ben will be my guests that night. We will be talking about their respective characters and how they built them and really how their individual journeys are going so far. And then, yeah, we should update our trip schedule. Sure, we could do that. Friday night, we have The Contraband, of course, and then very special one night only one shot we have coming to you on Saturday, May 22nd. We have Hot Guys Making Out, which is going to be a fantastic one shot led by our very own Kelsey Botwinick-Caruza. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Darrington is actually going to be playing in that one shot. So if you love Tennison, you'll see Darrington there on Saturday night. All the information will be there. But yeah, so that's it, I think. But, you know, we'll be back next Sunday with more of Zoa for you. So until then, thanks so much for watching. Stick around for the raid. We love you, and have a great week.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.